I need the patience. The patience to wait for the timer. We do not need holiday music. I mean, it's the fun time of year to have holiday music. And I see people coming in the room. Hi, hi. Let me change the view. We've got it. Let me change the microphone. And we'll get the show on the road. I want to make sure to give a little bit of space because it's Friday and has a lot of ways to spend their time on a Friday. Although, I guess for those of you in Australia, the Philippines, that area, it's Saturday morning. So it's not Friday anymore. I guess my question is, how's the future? And I wish you could answer. Is there anyone on live on Zoom that is on a completely different time zone? Just curious, go ahead and put in the chat, where are you joining from? If you are over in Facebook or in one of the Facebook groups, I would also love to hear, where are you joining from? Where are you watching the replay from? Where in the world are you? Hi, good evening. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Cleveland, Ohio. Ohio's in the house. Laura, this is so lovely. You've been on day 1, day 2, and day 3. Dina, I'm seeing Dina in the house, and Christina and Veronica and Rubino. There's a lot of familiar faces. This is so good. You know what? We all have choices with our time. There's around 300 people registered for this. And so it's always fun to go, who pops on live, who joins in the Facebook group, who watches the replay. And it's all awesome. However you choose to dedicate your time. And that's great to hear that you're going to be on camera shortly. Southern Oregon in the house. Yeah, exactly. You're 20 minutes away. You guys got to meet Aaliyah yesterday. She's the program coordinator, and she and I have been working together for 6 years now. So crazy. Okay, and I'm glad I remembered to record. Yesterday I forgot to push record, and we are like, oh, how are we going to get the replay up there? But of course we figured it out. So, welcome back everyone to Pause, this 4-day or 4-hour experience to really take a pause and go, I'm going to prioritize my vitality, my foundational well-being. And I'm so thrilled that you made it to day 3. Tomorrow will be day 4. And then on Sunday will be a closed door Q&A. And so right away, if you know that you would like to be in the closed door Q&A, this will not be on Facebook. So for those of you watching in Facebook, you really do need to register. And if you'd like to have a hot seat, you want to really unpack whatever's personally going on with you, with your hormones, your energy, your libido, your vitality, your vision, your confidence, your sleep, whatever, your menopause, your perimenopause, whatever it may be, you definitely want to let Aaliyah know. So email her at admin@marayabrown.com. Or if you've already registered, whatever emails you're getting, you're welcome just to respond to the emails. Whatever text messages you're getting, you're welcome to respond to the messages. Okay. And I really want to take a moment to just acknowledge each of you because you're dedicating time to yourself. And I don't take that lightly. We all live very full, productive lives, and there's a lot pulling on us. Right now I have my mom downstairs. She just had knee replacement surgery and moved in. My children are off to birthday parties and ice skating rink and, just the navigating of life. And that is how it goes. So just showing up is a sign that you're committed to your own vitality and your own well-being. And that is, like I said, if you're on Facebook, you're on Zoom, or you're watching the replay. So go ahead and type in the chat, yes, 4 hours is worth it. Yes, 4 hours is worth it. Yes, I see the yes. 4 hours is worth it. Yes, 4 hours is worth it. Yes, because I know that you're worth it. And you've set aside this time in your already full, productive, beautiful lives, and that's something to celebrate. And this is 4 hours. 4 hours over, the recordings are going to be up until the 15th. 4 hours of your life to really pour into you and get really honest with what do I want, what is working, what is not working, and really have more clarity on the interconnectedness between all of it. So today we're going to dig deep into what we consume and detoxify is what we become, and start creating a clear plan to expand your vision once you're becoming the woman you dream of being. And I'll kind of unpack through your eyes, your mouth, and your heart to kind of make it a little bit more streamlined. And like I said, the replay is available to everyone to rewatch, watch, make sure you've got the workbook. Hopefully you have your workbook printed up. At any point, you can text 458-218-7817. I'm going to put that in the chat. At any point, you're welcome to text there if you've got questions that are popping up. Curious, who was on day 2? Just put day 2 in the chat. And if you were on day 1, put day 1 in the chat. Or if you were at both, say both. That would be really nice to know. And same with those of you in the replay. If you're if you're in Facebook, if you're watching the replay, you're welcome to email Aaliyah as much as you want. And this is your opportunity to pause and reflect, right? Are you spending your time and energy in ways that truly align with your goals? And by reassessing all of our priorities and letting go of what's draining you, and instead intentionally choose what fills you up, we create space for the brilliance and vibrancy that you deserve in the year ahead. So I'm seeing watched day 2, day 1. Amazing. I see both. Veronica, so glad that you used the replay page. That's awesome. Your concierge is Aaliyah. You also have Krista. You've met both of them. Please just, they're hungry. You saw Aaliyah's tears yesterday. This means the world to them to support you. And so be in self-advocacy, ask your questions, especially if there's specific things that you want me to cover. And if you're going to be on the private Q&A day and there's anything particular you want to email your labs in advance to Aaliyah, we've got lots of possibilities. And over the past few days, we've covered a lot, right? Getting to the root of what's really going on with your vitality. We yesterday unpacked a lot around hormones and energy and libido and adrenals and thyroid, right? And getting clear on the house, the foundation, and the importance of that, but also the electricity and the hearth, and to go, wow, we don't live in a silo here. We've explored how you want to feel and what shifts you need to make in order to step into that vision, that future version of you. No more fine. Put it in the chat. No more fine. No more fine. We want vibrant. We want spectacular. We want the lights on. We want energy. No more fine. Yeah, absolutely. No more fine. Yes, yes. And so we get to continue to unpack this. And like I said today, what we consume and detoxify is what we become. Okay. Once again, this is not just information, it's transformation. So make sure that you're really allowing yourself to apply it. Let's keep the momentum going. For those of you that are just joining and you didn't attend day 1 or day 2, and if we haven't connected deeply yet, my name is Maraya Brown. I'm Yale educated. I'm a midwife. And for the past 24 years, I've been deeply immersed in women's health, guiding women just like you into their most vibrant selves. And I know what it's like to live a full life. And I also know what it takes to sustain that life with energy and health and joy and presence and deep, fulfilling relationships, because my health is a priority. I often use the triangle. If you think of 3 pillars, it's health, wealth, and fulfillment. And I have worked with many clients that have exceptional wealth and have fulfillment, and yet they don't have their health. And what do they really have? Or they have fulfillment through community and love and their relationships, but they don't have wealth and they don't have their health to really enjoy it. We really need all 3. Okay. So this is the piece to really get clear on what's the missing piece. And am I at my utmost for my health so that my loving relationships and my spiritual journey and my fulfillment and the use of the wealth that I'm attracting can be sustained, and I get to actually enjoy it with the people that I love because I actually have my health. So I get to celebrate some of the women for the trifecta. Remember, I did open up the doors for the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator trifecta yesterday, and some of that is time dependent. So there's a reduction in price. I'm offering up the added VIP day, which is a virtual VIP day, as long as you say yes by the 15th or before the 15th. So close the business on the 14th. And for those of you that say yes before Sunday, I'm gifting you 3 months access to the intimate group community calls. Women that are in those community calls are generally in a full year-long experience, and it's intimate and lovely and really sweet. And I'm happy to offer that to you. So I wanted to give a big virtual hug to Dina and to Katie Willing and just congratulate you. I'm thrilled to support you along your journey of the trifecta, and I know that more are coming. I'm going to put the link in the chat for those of you. Hopefully, you've explored this already, but really, truly, to take that one seriously and go, oh my gosh, 3 months? To be able to have lab work and one-on-one time and self-paced modules and twice a month Q&A and exceptionally discounted pricing and have access to the group calls and a virtual VIP day, it's pretty special. Okay. The other thing that I'm excited to celebrate, which is a little bit different than the trifecta, is yesterday confirmed there is a group of women. We are referring to them as the Queens of Hearts, and they have officially asked me to facilitate a private VIP retreat for them. And we're going to be going down to Mexico, and it's a swift turnaround. So I'm going to be facilitating with them in Playa del Carmen at the Palmea Resort. We reserved the rooms. They confirmed everything signed, sealed, and delivered yesterday. So if any of the Queens of Hearts are watching this, I can't wait to get to know you more intimately. And I'm so thrilled to hold that space for a deep dive, a 4-day retreat and a private retreat just for those women. If at any point, those of you that are watching have curiosity around the women's retreats that I host, the next one that's open to the public is in the Dominican Republic in April. And it's going to be yummy beyond yummy. Of course, we get into the hormone stuff, but I also get the opportunity to kind of midwife the space, and we get into nervous system stuff. Okay, so what we consume and detoxify is what we become. Think of it this way. You plan what comes into your life, i.e., what you consume, right? You digest it, you absorb it. Ultimately, you detoxify that which doesn't serve you and you let it go. And everything you consume becomes a part of you. Your energy, your mental clarity, your libido, your passion, your hormonal balance, your relationships, your presence, your confidence. And I'm not just talking about food, although I really do believe Hippocrates had it right. Let thy food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be thy food. What you consume emotionally, the relationships you allow into your life, the information you expose yourself to, it all matters. So I want to go deeper into this today. And of course, when I work with women, we're always going to start with your food and your nutrition and personalized supplementation. But to hit home on it's what goes in and out of our eyes and our mouth and our heart, right? So to go to ask yourself, if you look at the workbook, what is not working? What, and to ask yourself the question, what am I currently tolerating? Right? How am I thriving? How do I feel in your health, in your relationships, in your energy? You know, we've already unpacked a good amount when we did the vitality score, your sleep, your relationship with community. But go, what have I been sweeping under the rug? In what ways have I not been showing up for myself? And how does it impact all of the other aspects of vitality we have unpacked? And I want to ask you the question, what if nothing changed? What if we fast forwarded and I had another one of these workshops, December of 2025, and here we were, and you found yourself in the exact same scenario? What would it feel like? How does it feel in your body? And a lot of the time women will go, I can't even imagine it. Well, allow yourself to imagine it because we need to get clear with, oh, that doesn't work for me. And then go, okay, well, what if we went 3 years from now and still nothing had changed? Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And what if we went 10 years down the road and nothing had changed? How is that impacting your career? How is it impacting your relationships, your marriage, your children, your health, your energy, your sleep, your hormones, your vitality, your weight? And I think it's important that we get honest with ourselves and go, all right, I guess if I really allowed myself to go there as much as I don't want to, it's time. It's time for something to change. So then we get to go, all right, let's Control Alt Delete and imagine what thriving really feels like for you. And allow yourself to write down in your workbook, what does thriving look like? What does thriving look like on this big open page? What does thriving look like in your life? If time, energy, money was no thing, not just getting by, but truly thriving, what would it look like? What would it feel like? How would you feel in your body? How would you be sleeping? What would your energy level look like? What would your passion for your life look like? How would you be looking yourself in the mirror? And what ripple effect would that have on your life, on your impact, on your ROI? And let me tell you, my friends, women make investments in their well-being and their health, and they receive from me and the team with coaching, and their ROI is spectacular. Because confidence goes up and energy goes up and productivity and brain fog's gone and sleep is good and relationship is fulfilling. And then they go, oh my gosh, now this abundance is coming. And women will be like, I'm changing careers. I just bought a new house. Right. Because we invest in ourselves, we invest in our foundational well being. And if you go into that future version of the ideal, what do you believe about yourself? If you're in the place of absolute abundant health, absolute alignment, what beliefs fire out of you? And how does it change your hope for the future? So just take a minute and allow yourself to reflect on that and get really honest. I encourage you to write it down. Not if you're driving. Don't write it down then. But maybe afterwards, after we're done with this session, set aside a little bit of time and journal it out a little bit. And for those of you that are writing, I'd be really curious to see what comes up for you. Put it in the chat. What comes up for you? Either when we do the exercise around, gosh, what am I settling for? How am I treating myself? What am I sweeping under the rug? What am I consuming? And what if nothing changes in a year, 3 years, 10 years? Or maybe share the vision of what would change if it all turned around and everything was firing at all cylinders. And we went back to that vitality assessment and you were a 10 out of 10 on all of it. Your energy, your hormones, your libido, your confidence, your community, your sleep, your freedom, your vision casting, your dreaming. What changes? What changes in how you feel in your body? What changes in your hope for the future? And how do you envision yourself? And really, truly, if you're open to putting it in the chat, I need to give myself a pause from talking so you have space to chat. And once again, not if you're driving. What comes up for you? What comes up for you? I see everybody writing. I love it. And obviously, if you put on your camera, I would love to see faces. It's nice to see faces for those that don't have camera on. It also helps us stay more present. When we have our video on, we're just less likely to multitask. And we get to see each other for those of us that are here on Zoom. What comes up? Anything, a word. It could be a word. Put it in the chat. Even if you want to unmute yourself, that's fine too. Veronica, Tina, Corey, Laura, Gail, Milka. Such a beautiful name. What comes up for you? Happiness and joy. Yeah. Dina's coming and going. Thriving and confidence in my own skin. Yeah. And what's the impact of that? Like, if you're really experiencing happiness and joy, what then? If you're thriving and feeling confident in your own skin, what then? What type of people do you attract? What type of relationships do you attract? I can't remember if I mentioned this. I think I mentioned it yesterday with my daughter. Did I? I think I mentioned it. Be on, she gets to be this Sunday on Agape with Martin Luther King Jr.'s grandson, and it gets streamed into 120 different countries. You know why? Is because the man who runs the children's ministry was here at my house and he saw her eyes. He saw the unmistakable sparkle behind her eyes and the ferocious love that she has. It's palpable. Okay. So when we're powerful, when we're confident, when we have energy, it's an energetic exchange. We don't have to use any words. It's not about makeup. It's not about purses. It's not about fancy jewelry. It's an energetic exchange, right? Laura, did you write tapped? I'm curious what that means.
I wrote above that first.
Oh,
Fully tapped in, tuned in, and turned on.
yeah. I love it.
I
Tap
left
in.
the D off of a couple of them.
Yeah, just fully. So this
Fully.
is about our health. It's about our hormones, but it's about so much more than that, right? It's about us feeling spectacular and having the ripple effect in the world and claiming to the universe that I am worthy of feeling spectacular. And you're dang right. I'm going to invest in myself with time and money and energy and make myself a priority because I want others to make me a priority. And I want to attract others that have bright light, that are shining big and strong, right? Okay. So I love it. Thank you so much for the chat. And let's explore a powerful truth. So, what I said is what we consume and detoxify is what we become. Okay. So, think about an apple. Okay. Apples not only is it the food that we eat, but I want to kind of unpack this a little bit. So I'll talk about an apple. I'll talk about emotions that we feel, the relationships that we nurture, the experiences that we carry. Okay, so I'm going to share a visual too that's not in the workbook, but I want to share it. Um, Everything we take in physically and emotionally, if we don't process and absorb and assimilate and detoxify what doesn't serve us, it holds us back from becoming the vibrant, empowered women we are meant to be. Okay, so if we use the example of eating an apple, let me come up with a visual. Let me bring it up. Here, share screen, here, this. I want to make sure I can still see the chat. Move it out of the way. I love technology. So, what we consume is what we become, right? Can everybody still see that? Put yes in the chat. I can see it. Yes in the chat. Good. All right, glad. I'm glad. You never know if technology is working. Okay, so we talk about an apple. It's something simple, it's something tangible. We eat an apple. And when you eat an apple, your body begins an intricate process. We digest it. Okay, your stomach breaks it down into usable nutrients and fiber and water and vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and antioxidants, right? But our body needs to actually absorb them. So a healthy gut absorbs these nutrients and it gets into your bloodstream so that it becomes assimilated, right? The nutrients are then carried to your cells where they're used to create energy, repair tissue, and maintain balance. And then our body goes, Aaliyah, if there's somebody not muted, would you be willing to mute them? I appreciate it. Thank you. And then we go, oh, What do we do with it when we've taken what we need from it and now we've got the gunk that's no longer needed? We detoxify. Your body needs to eliminate what's not needed, release the waste through poop, through sweat, through urine. If we don't eliminate, like, I can't believe I worked with a client. She said she was pooping once a month. I'm like, oh my goodness, girl. We've got to be having at least one bowel movement a day. Okay. But you also need to sweat and you also need to urinate. We have to detoxify. And here's the kicker. If the apple is organic and perfectly ripe, and if your gut health is compromised, if you're stressed and inflamed or depleted, you might not fully digest or absorb its goodness. And you might be blocking the detoxification, right? If you have a genetic predisposition towards kind of sluggish detoxification or poor what's called methylation, it's going to impact that whole process. Okay. Whereas if we talk about navigating an emotionally vulnerable experience, let's say, if we apply this same process to something more personal, Aaliyah, I'm realizing I don't know if Melody's on. Would you make sure she's going to come? Thank you. I appreciate that too. So, if we think about an emotionally vulnerable thing, imagine a deeply challenging relationship. Let's say you're growing up with a narcissistic parent or navigating a tough marriage during a season of hormonal shift. Okay. Every interaction in that dynamic is something you consume emotionally. The words they say, the feelings they provoke, the stories we tell ourselves in response, right? So we digest it. We process these experiences, trying to make sense of them. Maybe you internalize their criticism and dismissiveness, feeling the weight of their expectations. And if you're already stressed or overwhelmed, your emotional quote unquote digestion slows down, just like physical digestion does when we're in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Okay, then we want to absorb. We want to absorb, but without awareness, you might absorb their negativity, allowing it to shape how you see yourself or set up walls and barriers to others that aren't going to treat you in the same way. Their words seep into your identity. And then there's things like, I'm not good enough, I'm too much, I can't do it. And just like with food, if you're not intentional, what you absorb might not nourish you. Okay. So instead, it can drain your self worth and your confidence. Okay. We look at assimilate. Over time, these absorbed messages, just like the absorbed nutrients from the apple into your bloodstream, become part of you, shaping how you act and how you react, and whether or not you're willing to advocate for yourself or invest in yourself well. And you carry their influence into relationships and other relationships in your career and even into your health. You might catch yourself apologizing for things that aren't your fault or holding back from expressing your needs. And then detoxify. Finally, there's the essential step of letting go, detoxifying the emotions, the stories, the beliefs that no longer serve you. And this might mean setting boundaries, seeking therapy, journaling to process your feelings. For many of the women that I work with, we bring in what's called rest sessions with 2 R's. It's a beautiful trauma release modality where you just cut it away. Detoxify the patterns that don't serve us, take away that initial event. And the toxic pattern stays if we don't detoxify. And it will show up as anxiety, irritability, physical symptoms, fatigue, weight gain, cancer. I had a very, very dear friend that just had a heart attack. She has lived a healthy life, has one of the most impeccable diets I know. She's in her 70s and she's just in disbelief. Everything's blocked. She's like, how is this even possible? Vegan, plant-based, just like the most amazing diet. And in my mind, I was talking with my husband about it like 3 o'clock in the morning. She popped into my head and I went, right. There's also the emotional component of the heart, that place that's pumping, constant in and in and out of theoretical love. And if at any point we're blocking the receivership of that love, we're blocking the letting go of the things that don't serve us, it creates ailment. Okay. So when I offer up things like the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta, there's a reason why there are modules and there's testing and there's support and there's one-on-one time. It starts out with me and the team dietitian, but I don't believe we can separate this stuff out. It's what we consume through our eyes, our mouth, and our heart. Okay. So this emotional digestion mirrors what happens in your body. If you don't process and release the toxins, they stay with you, holding you back. But when you let go, you create space for self compassion, healing, and growth. When you have a really healthy gut microbiome and your adrenals are doing well because you're managing stress well and your hormones are on, now the body is able to go, oh, I'm safe. I can absorb the nutrients. I can assimilate that. And with ease, let go of the pieces that don't serve me and I'm going to poop great. Right? Good, right? And so when I write in the workbook, your eyes, your mouth, and your heart, I go, what can you commit to? Is there anything already that you can acknowledge that, oh, I'm settling for fine and it's time for change? And there is something that I can shift with what is going in and out of my eyes, my mouth, and my heart, right? What am I allowing myself to eat? What words am I speaking? Am I staying hydrated? What am I exposing my eyes to? Do I need to change, turn off the TV, get rid of the TV? Change the community, change through what mind's eye I'm choosing to see a scenario. And am I truly doing what lights my heart and soul on fire? Allowing in the pieces that really serve me. And am I actively giving of love? Because I've detoxified and let go of the times in my life where things hurt. And maybe I'm afraid to still give of love, but I'm letting it go and allowing that free expression, both in and out of eyes and mouth and heart. Out of the mouth is speaking your truth. Remember yesterday when we were talking about thyroid and the place of our voice, the place of our truth? Yeah. Um, so just as your body needs to digest, absorb, assimilate, and detoxify, so does your mind and your heart. Okay. What you consume, whether it's a healthy apple or a painful interaction, matters. But just as important is how you process and release what doesn't serve you. Okay, so this event is called Pause. We get to pause for a moment. What's one thing you've consumed recently, physically or emotionally, that you feel is nourishing? Drop it in the chat. Something you've consumed recently. It's like, oh, that was nourishing. That nourished my soul. It nourished me through my eyes. It nourished me through my mouth. I hydrated well today. I made a beautiful salad for my mom and I. We had a sweetest morning of pause. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any calls. We danced in the living room and like that was nourishing. It's nourishing to my soul. We brought up memories of childhood around the holidays and all the time she had me up on her shoulders and we danced. But what about you? Guided meditation today. Yum. Yes. Yeah. I did my sweat today. That nourishes me. I went to a new library today and started my life vision board. Ooh, so good. Pear green tea. Yeah. To bring in things that are antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. Yeah. And decorated Christmas wreaths. Yeah, totally. Okay. And what about something that might be draining you? What's one thing that you're realizing? I need to detoxify this. Maybe it's a food, maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a motion, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a choice, maybe it's a belief, maybe it's a limiting choice. Like often women that come in here, they'll hold themselves back. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I'm going to do it later. And then what happens later? And is that really serving you? Is there some self-limiting thinking around worthiness, around investing in yourself, around actually being ready to receive the change that you're asking for? And is that a thought pattern that needs to be detoxified? Diet mentality, totally. Recent car accident. Absolutely. Let it go. To find ways to let go of the memory, to let go of the pain, to let go of the trauma, to allow your deep nervous system to regain a sense of safety, right? And so then to go right, and then this helps to assimilate and absorb. So this process of digestion and detoxification is at the core of vibrant living, whether it's an apparel or a relationship. Your body and mind are constantly working to process what comes in and release what's not serving you. Absorb the good, assimilate into this new version of you that you actually want it to be. So take an account what needs to change with what comes in and out of your eyes, your mouth, and your heart. And is it bringing you closer to the woman that you want to be? And here's the truth. You have the power to influence the process by being intentional about what you consume and making space to detoxify. That's why I call this pause. Whether it's improving your gut health or setting emotional boundaries, you can create energy and vitality and clarity you need to thrive. You know something that's fun, Laura? Tracy Litt is the one that actually helped me come up with the name pause. I'm ready to do the testimonial. Do we have Melody in the house? Is Melody here yet? There you are here. Yay. Hi.
Hi, can you hear
It's good.
me?
Yeah.
Good.
How's Texas?
Cold. Texas is coastal Texas is, I woke up to about, 47 for me is very cold.
That is cold.
It
Oh,
is cold. So, yeah, it's lovely though. Sunny day. It's a little
okay.
chill in the air.
Yeah. Would you be open to just to introduce yourself to the group? Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do in the world.
Hi, I'm Melody Van Kay, and I am a studio owner of a yoga studio here in Galveston, Texas. I also teach yoga, been doing this full-time teaching yoga for a living for 10 years now. So it's kind of a moment of shift. And so what I do, I teach in the studio. I also go and teach. I teach at a local preschool. I teach the little ones, which just kind of that just lights me up. That just gives me the energy for the rest of the week. So yeah, that's me in a little nutshell.
I'm so glad. And we met in Sedona at a retreat.
Mhm.
And we really connected. So okay, so then we met in Sedona at the retreat, actually doing yoga. And um you were at that point struggling with some stuff around your hormones. And I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you go back to when was that, say last spring, can you remember what were some of the things that you were struggling with at that point?
So we met in January,
Yeah.
and it was really a very low, like an energetic low for me. Um, I I would have an afternoon crash. I just didn't feel that
Mhm.
I would force myself to practice and force myself to do these healthy habits, but I truly didn't have the passion in them. I didn't have a zeal to do it. I had bloating, and I just felt, yeah, I was working with trying to feed myself like healthy things, but it just didn't feel like I was actually assimilating them. Like it was not, it wasn't my answer, but I knew it wasn't the problem. And yeah, and then there was also like this kind of low, I would have to say, like kind of like level of like just depressed, just because kind of
Mhm.
just kind of, and just dull. Dull
Yeah.
is a good word.
Yeah. And then anything else around hormones and menopause and anything else you want to mention?
Um, I had I had questions. I was like, so I was 48 at that point, and I knew that I know that, so I didn't have regular cycles, and I
Mhm.
haven't, because of birth control that I've been taking since I was like 29 years old. So it's just like the things, my habits in my 20s, like that's not going to carry me into late 40s, into my 50s, and so on. So it's like I knew something had to change. Yeah, and the hormones, I had no idea where to look. I was just I didn't feel right, but I didn't know where to look.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So low energy, energy crashes, wanting to have your yoga practice, but feeling like you were dragging, bloating, kind of this mild, am I depressed? What's going on here? Kind of flat, irregular menstrual cycles, but that was a lot around the contraception that's been there for a long time. And also just where do I even start? Where do I look to find solutions? And then, so what shifted since you and I have been working together? We've done some testing, we've had one-on-one time. You've been with me, you've been with Katie, the team dietitian. You also had some rest sessions with the trauma
Mhm.
release specialist. What's changed?
Everything. Like really, I have to say, honestly, everything. I don't have the crashes. Like I'm looking, we're going to a dinner tonight. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this call and I'm going to get ready. And, it's that like I have this steady, it's not the peak in valleys, it's a steady
Mhm.
energy. And I feel uplifted. I feel lighter. I feel nourished, like my food is like when you were talking about nourishing. What did you like? Yeah, it's like I feel that it's processing. So my digestion is much better. I don't have the bloating every time I eat. I yeah, I have my creativity is back, which it's funny you don't realize when it goes away, but it's like these ideas and then these things. I'm just okay. Well, let's implement that. Let's do this, like solstice candlelight yoga class, and like yeah, it's easy. Things are coming easier. It's not such a burden to do something. So it's just lightness. There's a level of energy.
So
Yeah, and
good.
just in like this I feel like very authentic, it's in myself as far as with my age. I'm actually really happy about that. I think I'm doing pretty darn good. So
I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
it's really everything shifted. And it's
So
not
good.
just mindset. Like there was something, I kept reading mindset. It's like it's not just mindset. There was something like physically related to how I was feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. We dug in and we changed things with your hormones. We changed things with your adrenals. We changed things with your gut health. You've really had a pretty full approach. Out of everything, do you feel like there was anything that really jumps out at you with all the support? You haven't been able to make it on the group calls so much because the time, but
The time.
the time is changing next week. So you're going to hopefully you're going to be able to make it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Like I think like I just, it's like it's women's vibrancy. I feel vibrant. Like
Yeah.
my skin feels good. My
Mm,
body feels good, like inside and out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just feel good.
Yeah. And you had already tried mindset work. You were a yoga instructor, and so there were some pieces that were like, I didn't know where to look, and you found it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was you were such a blessing. And when I met you, I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is what I needed. And it is always provided. It's always
Yeah.
provided. Um you just
Yeah.
be see it when it presents itself.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be able to say, I've been asking and here it is.
Yeah.
And, it's nice that we've also been able to do this virtually. You travel a good amount, your schedule's full.
Yeah,
That's an understatement.
I don't think even if you were here in Galveston, I don't think we could have the coaching relationship that we have.
Hmm.
Um, because even here, I'm just pulled in different demands that I think the virtual is really the best. I mean, it's best for me. And
Me
it's so
too.
it's so great that you can be where you are and I can be where I am and we can still connect.
Yeah. Nobody's getting stuck in traffic or being late.
Right.
Although you did have the hurricane, but the Wi-Fi still worked, even with the flood and all that. We made it work. What would you say to a woman who is here on Zoom or over on Facebook or watching the replay, if she is considering saying yes and investing in herself and considering bringing me and the team in to do some testing and one-on-one time and give her the modules and give her the well-rounded support? If she's like, oh, I don't know, I'm unsure, what about this, that, or the other thing? Anything that you would say to her?
It's definitely just really just do like trust the process. Like just trust it. It's it's given, it's very like it's not super it's not hard to do. It's little steps. So it's just like these little changes. And so it's easy to implement. It's not a complicated process. It's not a like night and day. It's just adding. I don't feel like anything's ever been taken away from me. Like everything's been given. And just, I would say, just trust and do it. If I look back at, I didn't realize how bad off I was until now. I feel like I feel good. Like I was feeling bad for a long time and I knew I didn't feel right, but it was worse than that. It really was. But I would say do it, and it doesn't, it changes, but it's just adding. It's nothing is taken away. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah. I didn't have to give up anything.
Yeah. And some people do, we do ask you to give something up if labs show that it's really not serving you. But I think very few women feel like this victim deprivation can't have. It's celebrating what are we replacing it with and really having the knowledge around why and the empowerment and the liberation. So just that caveat, because if you are listening and then I tell you I need you to cut this thing out, you can't. Well, Melody told me that she didn't have to. I'm so appreciative of your time, Melody. And you had the first phase and then we added on and we went into the second phase and it's just been an absolute delight. And I know we have a call coming up in a week or two.
I know.
Anything else you want to add?
Um, I am honestly so grateful that you and your whole team is available. It's such an amazing, like it is different than healthcare. It is different than me telling my doctor at UTMB like what's going on. Um, it is life changing, but like in such like a fulfilling manner. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my heart goes out to the people because I can start. I see now some people feeling some of the things that I felt, and I have this like this deep empathy. Whereas like you can like there's answers that you're not getting.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're welcome to send them my way,
I know the
Melody.
more the merrier.
Yeah. I appreciate you. And I realized you came in a little bit late. I wanted to show you if I think you were listening to what I was sharing around detoxification. And I just wanted to show you the visual for those of you that popped on. This was the visual that I was kind of walking through is this concept of what we consume and digest and absorb and assimilate and detoxify through our eyes, our mouth, and our heart. So if you missed that visual, I would just wanted, there you go. So you got to see it. All right, go enjoy your dinner. Thank you so much for your time. You're welcome to stay on if you want, but if you're going to dinner, I just want to say I appreciate your time and I appreciate you, and it's a delight having the chance to work with you.
Thank you.
Of course, of course.
I'll
Okay.
see you in a week.
Okay, see you soon. And I think it's important for me to thank everyone for sharing our journey, sharing your heart and your thoughts in the chat, sharing this experience. Whomever is communicating with Aaliyah, and if you've reached out and had conversations with Krista, it means a lot to us. And it's powerful to hear how transformation can happen when we commit to ourselves. And I want to remind all of you that the journey is available to you too. It might be like melodies, it might be different, but it ends up being very personalized for everyone. When you go to the replay page, there's a number of testimonials on there. Watch them. Those are real women sharing their real stories. And we've spent the past few days digging deep into your health and your desires and what's possible for your life. And if you felt a spark inside, if you're ready to take that next step, I really want to say this is my chance to invite you to the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta. If you have questions, apply for the call. If you're like, well, I like that, but I want something else, we can create a personalized package for you. I want to add the retreat. I want to come to the Dominican. What about time with the trauma release specialist? It's all possible. Okay. And there's a lot to unpack here. I wanted to just, I thought I'd share the screen. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. And we've got some people coming in the room there. Where is share? I love technology. This is the trifecta, right? So claim back your passion, your purpose, and your power, right? Take a peek through this site and we get to go, all right, for the next 90 days. Once you say yes, we start. If you're like, I want to say yes now and I want to take advantage of the decreased pricing and I want the VIP day and you want to say yes before Sunday, I want to have access to the intimate group calls, but I want to start after Christmas. Fine. Just say yes to yourself. So it's 90 days. You get 3 one-on-one calls. This is actually supposed to be 2 with Maraya, 1 with Katie. I will make sure that's edited. I'm so glad I looked at that. There's a full assessment, both quantifiable and qualifiable. And then we're ordering your lab. So I'm looking at your thyroid, your adrenals, your hormones through functional medicine tests. So Dutch is urine and saliva, and the others is through blood. Some of you might say, hey, what can I add on a GI map? Can I add on some more time? What if 3 months doesn't feel like enough? Can it make 6 months? Yes, we can create something. But for now, you've got the self-paced portal, access to biweekly live Q&As. And once again, for those that joined before, this is Aaliyah, we got to tell Annalise, this has got to be fixed. It's before the 15th. So end of day on the 14th is when this pricing goes away. So rather than 9,500, it's 4,200, but you're gifted the VIP day, and that's normally another 1,000. And for those that say yes by Sunday, I'm also gifting you access to those intimate group calls, right? If you want to do in monthly installments over 3 months, that's totally fine too. There's lots of possibilities. So just take it seriously. Ask your questions, reach out to Aaliyah, reach out to whomever you need to be able to go, okay, maybe it is my time. Maybe it's time
Hello?
to really, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm suffering from insomnia
Uh-huh.
and it's just started. I used to take diazepam and now all of a sudden I can't sleep.
Okay. So I love that. And sleep can have to do with your estrogen. It can have a lot to do with your progesterone. It can relate to your detoxification pathways, your adrenals, your blood sugar management. What I would encourage is come to the closed door Q&A that I'm doing on Sunday. If you have any lab work that you've done, email it into Aaliyah at admin@marayabrown.com. Come in and we'll have hot seats and we'll be able to unpack it and see, what have you tried so far? It's a complex conversation. The other thing is my podcast, which is called the Women's Vibrancy Code podcast. I did do a deep dive on sleep, and that's episode 55, 56, and 57.
So I
So you
bought this
you can find,
herbalist tea from
yeah,
a
so Angela,
herbalist.
I appreciate that, but I also want to remind you that it's much more complex than just a tea. When it comes to sleep, I need to learn a lot more about you. What's your age? Are you on any hormone replacement therapy? What's your stress level? How are your adrenals? And I
Do
would
you think
love
this
it if
tea will
you would
make me
pop
go to
on.
sleep?
I would not just suggest a tea, no. But I would love it if you would come on to the live Q&A on Sunday and let's really unpack it and dig in. And I'd be happy to give you a hot seat. We'll have a full hour there. It'll be closed door here on Zoom. And we have about 6 minutes left here. So email Aaliyah, admin@marayabrown.com. Fill out the application. So when you go to when you go to the replay page, Aaliyah, if you can put the replay page in the link, that'd be awesome. Go to the replay page, fill out the application. She'll make sure she gives you the Zoom link. Come in on Sunday. Let's do a closed door Q&A and really unpack it a little bit. And let me have a bit more information with all the moving pieces. And no, I would never recommend just a tea. I think sometimes we can get one simple answer and it can be profound, but I'm not a big fan of just the next pill or the next tea or the next Band-Aid. I'd much prefer we get to foundational cause and really understand what's going on. So it's not a short-term fix, but an actual long-term fix. And I'd be happy to have you on Sunday. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say with the, commitment level. I'm just to ask yourself, how committed am I to this? Be honest with yourself. It's in the workbook. If you're using the workbook and you like to fill that out, how committed am I? How committed am I to feeling spectacular? How committed am I to acknowledging the interconnectedness with our hormones and our energy and our sleep and our passion and our community and our vision and our confidence, right? And if you know that you're committed and you know that you're ready, say yes before Sunday. I'd love to have you on the community calls. And if you need more time, just remember you have until December 15th. So close of business, December 14th. And just to acknowledge the bigger picture, like Melody shared, she came in and it's been, like 9 months she and I've been working together. So the trifecta is just the beginning. That's a phase 1, right? We build your foundation. Right? We're going to get into your hormones and your adrenal and your thyroid and one-on-one. And whenever we're on those one-on-one calls, we get to make that a real personalized thing. And then after that, we can move into phase 2, where it's a bit deeper into gut microbiome testing. And maybe when we want to do some nervous system resetting and some trauma release or whatever it is that you're needing. Maybe you're ready to bring in a women's retreat. Okay. It's about your body and your energy and your vision. And they're your most powerful tools. And what I believe to be true is if you don't invest in them now, when will you? Right? Let's be honest. What's the alternative? When we talked about a year from now, no change, 3 years from now, change, 10 years from now, no change. This is not about me trying to push a sale. This is about me saying, when are you ready to actually feel spectacular? And when is enough enough? I have total trust and belief that the women that say yes and take the steps, their lives transform. I have hundreds of testimonials over the last 6 years that I've been online and 18 years before that in person. This stuff works as long as you're willing to say, yes, I'm ready. Yes, I want this. Okay. So it's your time. You get to invest in you. You get to say yes to the bonuses and enjoy a virtual VIP day and the discounted and pricing. But mainly it's because you're saying, yes, I'm committed to this. I'm not going to let my excuses or all the other things, the bright, shiny things get in my way. I'm going to figure out how to make this work. You want to use your HSA funds? Fine. You want to use it as a tax write-off before the end of the year because we send the invoices coaching? Awesome. Great. There's always solutions. There's always ways. You want to apply for financing? Awesome. Let me put you in contact with the team and they'll figure out how to help you apply for financing. There's always a reason how to make it happen. I will never forget one of my clients lived in a trailer park, grocery shopped at the food bank, woke up at 3:30 a.m. every morning to go to work as a single mom, and she figured out how to afford my year-long program. After that, I went, I'm never, ever going to accept money as the true excuse. Underneath that, there's something else. There's some fear. There's some fear of not investing in yourself, or am I actually ready for the change? Right? Will it be an abandonment to my origin? Am I actually afraid of outshining? Do I feel somehow underneath there's a part of me that's fundamentally flawed? And for those of you that have read The Big Leap, those are some of those barriers that Gay Hendricks highlights. Is so good, right? Okay. In the chat, for those of you that were here on day 1 and day 2 and now day 3, let's start with day 3. What's a highlight from today? Highlight. What's your highlight from day 3? What was that moment? It was like that. That's why I was here. That's why I dedicated an hour of my dear, precious time on a Friday evening. I needed to hear this, and this was potent and this was powerful for me. So put it in the chat. Key takeaway for today. I'm seeing the chat. I love all this chat. Reminder about the cycle. Yeah, that cycle, right? We can't just consume. There's a lot of things to consume in the world. Yeah, I'm seeing the hearts. What else? What was the highlight for today? I like Aaliyah. Thanks for putting your email in there. And Aaliyah, will you put the link for the replay in there too one more time? It's emailed to everybody, but just to be sure, I'm not just about my mindset. Yeah, that was powerful to hear from Melody. She was doing the mindset work, but we also have our cells, our cellular vitality. And of course, we want to activate the water that's in our body and the nutrients that are in our body. But there's some things. I believe in prayer. I believe in mindset. I also believe in nutrition and physiology and just getting the data. What else? What else? What's an aha? Is it Avi? Is that how you say your name? Avi? Veronica? Did I get it right? Is it Avi? You're welcome, Don. Gail, Tina, what's your highlight from today?
It's Ave. I'm still typing.
Ave, how beautiful. Ave. Dina, Patricia, and Ave here. Wait, let me find you again. If you're open to sharing, I'm putting you on the spotlight. We've never even met before. Any highlight from today? And the last 2 days. I think I've seen your face on all 3. What's a highlight?
A highlight, I was typing in, I'm sight impaired, so it takes me a little while to type what I need to type. But I
Yeah.
was typing that my truth that I had, the aha that I had today was about what you were saying about what you're taking in through your eyes, through your mouth, through your heart.
Yeah.
To just hear it is like, was a really aha, because like you said, all of this is feeding into your spiritual energy and everything. And so for the last 3 days, these hours have been real impactful and powerful because of the fact that I feel my depletion. And so I know that it's like, okay, I definitely need this because I scored a 30 on the assessment we did the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was either somewhere between a 4 5 range for everything. And I was like, wow, nothing made it to the 8 9 10 level. So it's like, okay, I am definitely in need. And
Yes,
that's why
totally.
I shared the other day, it's not just one area. I need
Mm-hmm.
it in all areas.
Yes.
And it
Well,
wasn't until, you sit down and actually start putting it on paper and seeing it and hearing what you were saying, it's like, wow.
yeah. And I'm seeing the head nods. I'm seeing the smiles of it's powerful, and
Yes,
it's potent when we start with awareness.
yes, yes,
It's a
yes.
gift when we start with awareness. And then what do we do with it from that point forward? So thank you. Thank you for
You're
sharing,
welcome.
and thank you for letting me put you on the spotlight.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm aware of time. I went a few minutes over. Grateful for you. Once again, everyone in Facebook, everyone watching the replay, grateful for you. I hope that I have the opportunity to have a chat with each and every one of you. Doors are open. Ask your questions. Give a big, bold yes to yourself. Allow yourself to be aware and get clear with what am I going to do with the information. I love information. I'm a smart cookie. I got into Yale for my master's, and it's around the application of the information and allowing for the transformation to take place. So, the truth about what my eyes, mouth, heart take in. Yeah. And it's not just digestion of food that impacts us, but also emotions. Yeah. It's all relevant. It's all important. In the trifecta, 3 of the modules are around nervous system and emotions and how we process. And it's relevant. Of course, we dig into the hormones and DHEA and adrenal health and make sure that you have a full scope understanding of gut microbiome if you like to do the self-paced stuff. And then you'll have access to the twice a month Q&As. For those of you that say yes by Sunday, the more intimate group calls. And then as long as you say yes before the 15th, you'll get the discounted pricing as well as the virtual VIP day. And those days are so potent and so yummy. So with that, I appreciate each and every one of you. You'll have access to the replays until the 15th. You can watch, you can rewatch, be in more and more depth of self-awareness. Cheers to that. Thank you for sharing. I'm off to the ice skating rink. Okay, ciao, ciao.